When Jacob was just 20 years old, life hit him harder than he ever expected. He grew up in a small town in Ohio, USA, where people knew each other by name. His parents worked long hours just to keep food on the table. Jacob wasn't born rich, he wasn't born lucky, and to most people, he wasn't special. But Jacob had a dream. He wanted to become a runner, someone who could cross finish lines with pride, someone who could feel the wind in his hair and the crowd cheering his name. But there was a problem. Jacob wasn't fast, he wasn't strong. In fact, he was always the last kid in every race at school. The other kids laughed at him. They called him slow, clumsy, and hopeless. Coaches told him running wasn't his thing. Even his best friend once said, "Jacob, maybe you should try something else. Running just isn't for you." Those words cut deeper than any wound. One evening, after failing another race, Jacob sat alone on the bleachers. The sun was setting, painting the sky in orange and purple. He stared at the empty track, feeling like it was mocking him. He whispered to himself, "Why do I keep trying if I'm never going to win?" Tears welled up in his eyes. For a moment, he thought about quitting forever, but then a memory struck him. He remembered his mom, working 2 jobs, barely sleeping, yet never giving up. She once told him, "Jacob, in life, you don't have to be the fastest or the strongest. You just have to be the one who never gives up." Those words lit a fire inside him. Jacob decided in that moment he wasn't going to quit. The next morning, Jacob woke up at 5 a.m. While the town slept, he ran. He wasn't fast, he wasn't graceful, but he ran. Day after day, he pushed himself. He studied professional runners, copied their techniques, and trained his body until it screamed in pain. He didn't care how long it took, he was determined to transform. At first, he made no progress. Weeks went by, and he was still slow. People laughed when they saw him running in the cold rain or heavy snow. But Jacob kept whispering to himself, "One more step, just one more." And slowly, things began to change. His legs grew stronger, his breathing steadied, his endurance increased. He wasn't just building muscles, he was building discipline, resilience, and heart. Months later, his town hosted a charity marathon. Jacob signed up not to win, but to prove to himself that he could finish. When the race began, runners surged ahead, leaving him behind. Doubt whispered, "You'll be last again." But Jacob kept going, step by step, breath by breath. Halfway through, many runners started slowing down, exhausted. Jacob, however, had trained his mind to keep moving no matter what. By the final mile, he was no longer last, he was in the middle of the pack. When he crossed the finish line, something incredible happened. People clapped for him. They saw the determination in his eyes, the fire in his heart. Jacob didn't win the race, but in his heart, he had won the greatest victory. He beat the old version of himself. That marathon became the turning point. Jacob trained harder than ever. He woke up earlier, ran longer distances, and pushed past limits he once thought impossible. His determination caught the attention of a local coach who believed in him. For the first time, someone told Jacob, "You have what it takes." Years passed. Jacob kept competing, improving, and climbing higher. Eventually, the boy who was once the slowest in class stood on stages, receiving medals, representing his town, and inspiring others. Jacob's story isn't about running, it's about life. Maybe you feel like Jacob always last, always laughed at, always doubted. Maybe people told you your dream isn't possible, but listen closely. It doesn't matter where you start. What matters is how much you refuse to quit. Jacob didn't become a champion overnight. He became one because he refused to give up. And so can you. Life will test you. People will doubt you. But if you keep moving forward, step by step, you will outrun every obstacle in your way.